Welcome to another episode of United for a Healthy Stoughton. My name is Stephanie Patton. I'm the prevention coordinator for the town of Stoughton, coming to you virtually from my house in these strange times. And I'm very excited to have with me today Gaby Zola. So today, the title of our show is Gaby Gives Back. Gaby is a sophomore at Stoughton High School. And if you haven't been reading about her, either in the Enterprise or some of the other local media, or maybe on Facebook, you're in for a treat. Gaby's been doing some amazing work locally during this time of all of the COVID-19 shutdowns. So we're going to have a great conversation with Gaby today. Bear with us. This is our very first virtual show. I anticipate there will be more of these, but hopefully we will not have any added excitement with tech difficulties or cats or anybody else interrupting either of us as we do this from our home. So thanks, Gaby, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. So let's start a little bit about, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your interests and, sort of what you like to do before COVID-19.
Yeah, so I am a sophomore at Stoughton High School, and I am a field hockey goalie during the fall, and then I do winter cheer during, basketball season, and I also help film away games and help out with all the, because it's hard to do that because they don't have, someone to film. Mm-hmm. And then I also play boys lacrosse because there is no girls team, and I'm also advocating for a girls lacrosse team.
Wow.
So yeah, and I also coach for the youth boys and girls lacrosse.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So it sounds like sports are a really pretty big part of your life normally, right?
Yeah.
So that must have been, that's hard this year with the lacrosse season not happening, right?
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting because it's a fun season.
Yeah. Yep. So are you finding other ways right now to get out there and play lacrosse, even if it's just with your family?
Yeah, I've been teaching my dad and brother, and I've also been playing with a lot of walls and just brick buildings is pretty much what my new player is because there's fun to play with.
Oh man, yep. So that's awesome. So you're involved in a lot of sports things. Are there other things so you mentioned also that you film some of the away games. So you're doing that through Stoughton High and
yeah, I go on the bus and I film the away games and then I just go back with them. It's just to help out the team because they want to be able to watch the film and analyze it. And I just am there to hold the camera and help out.
Excellent. And tell me a little bit about some of your future aspirations or thinking about, if you don't know the answer to that, that's okay. You're
yeah. So right now, as of today, because, it changes a lot because I'm still young, I want to go to Bentley University and study business. And I don't know what I want to do after, but I know that no matter what I do want to give back to the community or anything like that because I love giving back to the community. Yeah. So I know that anything that I'll end up doing in life, it'll be giving back in some kind of way.
Awesome. And why business? What's your interest in business?
So my mom actually owns a small retail company, a family business, retail wholesale. And I've always been intrigued by it. I love the whole selling yourself and the product, putting your smile on and being kind and just the getting to know the person while also trying to sell them a product. And I've always loved doing that ever since I was 9. I would go with my mom to shows and just sell things and everyone would be like, oh my gosh, how does she do it? And it's I've always just been a very personable person who just loves selling things to people. So I think business would be a good thing for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Excellent. So now tell us a little bit about the story of your project. So for viewers at home who have no idea what you've been doing, tell us a little bit about that.
So what I've been doing is I've been feeding essential workers lunches and breakfast. So the way that works is you call a restaurant and you tell them that you would like to partner with them to go feed an essential workplace, whether it's a grocery store, first responders, hospital workers, factory workers, anybody who is working right now is considered an essential worker, because they're going out risking their lives, no matter how big or small. And some people don't fully get that, the people at the grocery store, they're also essential workers, not just the first responders. So I've been trying to recognize all essential workers in the community and surrounding communities. And all the restaurants have been very, cooperative and helpful, and they've like loved and given us good feedback, and they want to like come with us again and like donate to other places. And it's like, it's so great that the community is just like giving back to me when I'm giving back to them. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's just amazing.
Awesome. So how did you get this idea? Like, where did this come from? This is such a great idea.
So honestly, a few days before my birthday, do you know the app like TikTok?
I do know about TikTok, but
So
let's
yeah,
assume some of our viewers might not, because we have some older viewers as well. So maybe
yeah.
say a little bit about that.
So it's like an app that you can make like 15 to 60-second videos. It's like either like dancing or comedy or just like telling the story, or some people just like talk about like their day or something, like film what they do throughout the day. So I was actually scrolling through TikTok and I was like watching this video, and it was some girls, I think in like Washington State, like feeding essential workers, not through like a GoFundMe or anything, just genuinely feeding them. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, but how could I do that? Because I was sitting at home and I was just very bored and I needed something to, do, because that was a time that school wasn't as like active in my life, because it was like when they were still figuring out what to do.
Right.
So the like, I think 2 days before my birthday, I go, Dad, can I just start a GoFundMe? He goes, yeah, sure, whatever. He doesn't think that, this is going to do anything. We're thinking like $500 is the most we're going to get. So I set it up, and then, I wake up the next morning and I have like $300, and I'm just like, what?
Oh.
I was so confused. And then like a few days go by and I'm at like $600. And then a few more days go by and I'm at like $2,000. And I was in shock. I had no idea that it was going to blow up this big. And now I am on the verge, I think, of $7,000, which is just like unbelievable. Like I was not expecting that at all. So yeah, it was just really cool how a little idea turned into like a big give back to the community.
Yep. Awesome. And so who else is involved? Is your family involved in helping you do this? Or like who else have you recruited to make this happen?
Yeah, so my parents have been helping me a lot with like teaching me how to be professional about it, because I've been having to call like public relations at places and like CEOs and like managers of different places, and having to tell them what I'm doing, try to like get their time.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, they've been helping me a lot, and they drive me everywhere, so I'm very appreciative for that. And I've gotten a lot of new connections throughout the community, with like restaurant owners and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this has got to be probably the best preparation you could ever have for business school.
Yeah.
I would guess, like the real doing this. Yeah. So how you said a little bit about how you've been connecting with some of the local businesses you've been reaching out. Can you tell us a little bit about like how you've been doing that piece, and then also how you've been connecting with essential workers and finding some of these folks who are out in the community? Like you said, maybe some of the people right away we always think about doctors and nurses and firefighters and police officers and EMTs, but you named a lot of other folks who are doing essential services right now. So tell us about both of those ends.
So for the restaurants, a lot of the local restaurants, I think everyone knows some of the owners. Like a Town Spa, we have the Phillips family, and they're a very generous, family to the community, and they've been helping me out a lot. And then Roxanne's, that's at like Cobb Corner, they've been also helping me out a lot. He's very kind. He also wanted to give back himself, so we've been doing like a 5. He gives me 5 and I pay for 5, or like something like that. So then, because he wants to do some charity, but he doesn't have the like time to go out and hand it away. So I've been helping him with that. I've been trying to partner with Backstreet Grill. It's just they're only open for dinner, so I'm trying to get that started. Danino's has been very kind. Maxie's Corner Cafe. There's like a bunch of other places that I've gone to in the town and outside of the town. And I'm very grateful. And I have a lot of contacts now. Everywhere I go, all the restaurant owners, they're like, Gaby, and I'm like, hey. So it's really nice to, have those connections. And then for the essential workers, I have family members who are essential workers, friends, neighbors, all that kind of stuff. And then some places I just don't even know the people, and I just call because I know it's an essential workplace. Sometimes we find out through like Facebook. I think there was some other people that were like donating things. People like message me asking me to come to their place. I think some of the most unrecognized essential workplaces are definitely factories. Because
Yep.
a lot of factories have retrofitted themselves to actually like help um the healthcare like world, and like I think my neighbors retrofitted her factory to like become like to make those like oxygen masks and like
Mm.
oxygen tanks and all that. And
Yep.
then my uncle owns a label factory, and they didn't retrofit, but they've been making labels for all the healthcare stuff that
Oh,
like
wow.
you wouldn't even like think that that's like an essential workplace, because all they're making is labels, but they're
Mhm.
going in every day to work. Well, we get to
Yep.
sit at home. So there, those are a few of the places that I was just like very grateful to
Hmm.
recognize, because they're very unrecognized.
Yep.
I also handed out gift cards to the staff at Stop and Shop.
Oh,
Just like
wow.
walked in there and handed them $10 Town Spa gift cards.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think they even realized what happened. Like they were like, "What is in my hand?" And now I work
Right.
there actually, and it's really cool because none of them had any idea until I told them last week. I was like, "You do realize I'm the girl who gave you guys gift cards?" They're like, "What?" They had no
Hmm.
idea. It was really cool. Another one of my favorites is probably YMCA's, because the
Yeah.
kids, they all, it's essential workers kids, so it's like, because it's essential workers, the staff, and then
Hmm.
essential worker kids, so
Yep.
it's really really cool. And the kids always like make cards, and they're like pizza, they're usually like playing outside or something,
Hmm.
and it's just really cool to see them be so happy to get like, you know, a slice of pizza, which doesn't seem that big to us, but to them who are, you know, waiting for mom and dad, you know, it's really cool.
Yep. So that's awesome. Um, so you talked about a little bit that the why before we started the show, you were talking about
Yeah.
sort of your experience of the why with the kids is one of the ones that was like really special because the kiddos are so little. So we know the why is one of the services they've been providing back to the community is doing childcare for essential workers. So tell me a little bit about like some of your favorite stories, a little bit more from all of this, whether it's the kids or some of the other places you've been.
So the kids is definitely one of my favorites because I love kids in general. But another one of my favorites was my grandmother stayed at the Bostonian, and she recently passed away in February. So
I'm
I
sorry.
got no, it's okay. So I recently got to give back to their staff, and
Hmm.
I got them. There's like they're in Dorchester, so there's like a pizza place that they love right around the corner, and I gotta, you know, feed the staff lunch and dinner, which was
Hmm.
really special. And then I also went to Brush Hill Rehab Center, I think, in Milton.
Hmm.
And the lady who came out was the infection disease coordinator, I think it was her title. And we got to talking a little bit, and she actually ended up taking care of my grandmother, and
Oh,
so
wow.
do other people. So it's been really, you know, touching to find out about all the different people who take care of my grandmother, and like, you know, just like find little connections throughout doing this like project.
Yep.
And Stop and Shop was definitely one of my favorites, to give them gift cards. I also gave Dunkin' Donuts Town Spa gift cards,
Hmm.
and they were thrilled. I went there, I think, 3 times for like all the different shifts they had.
Hmm.
One girl like cried. It was like, it was so, that's like that's my favorite part, when they
Hmm.
like get so emotional about it, because it's like, to me it's like, oh, here you go, like I don't even realize what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I just, you know, I'm just giving them a gift card. In their mind it's like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Someone is recognizing me for everything I'm doing, because nobody is. And a lot of people these days have been kind of cruel and mean, which is sad to say.
Hmm.
But it's nice to just, you know, put a smile on someone's face, or change someone's day around, just because, you know, over just like a $10 gift card, or
Right.
like, you know, like a bagel, or like, you know, a slice of pizza. It's just really touching.
Hmm.
And sometimes I don't even realize the impact I'm making on people.
Yep. Yep. Kindness, even if it feels like it's something small, it goes such a
Yeah.
long way. I think it's such an important message for everybody, not just, I was going to say for young people, but I think for everyone. Because I think you're right. I think that, things are challenging for a lot of people. And sometimes the way that comes out, for some folks and some of their frustration of what's been going on can be that they aren't the kindest to some of our essential workers. And you think about even like the Dunkin' Donuts employees who still are going to work every day and are, in these kind of crazy work conditions with the shields and the masks and how stressful that must be for some of those folks. So I think, to be doing it, to going above and beyond saying just thank you, but doing an act of kindness. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, it just means so much to those folks. So that's amazing. Are there, when you talked about the young kids, was there anything in particular, we know they love pizza and they get excited. Was there anything else, any other fun stories that came out of that
Yeah.
with the little guys?
So when I went to East Bridgewater, they were actually all coming in from like recess, I guess you could say. And they saw me unloading the pizza and like bring like handing it to the workers to bring into the building, and they were like, and they were all like, hi, hi, hi. And I was like, it was the cutest thing ever, because I think there was probably like 40 kids, and they were all just like more than excited, and like they were all over the place because they're like, it's like hungry and everything, and it was so cute, and that was like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Brockton YMCA, they had a couple kids come out holding like a banner saying like thank you Gaby, and they all like signed it, and they had like a bunch of cards, and it's just like really cute because
Yep.
they're all like 4 and 5 year olds, I think, like 4, 5, 6 year olds.
Yep.
So it's really cool to they probably don't understand the full thing that's going on right now.
Right.
So it's nice to try to like put a little smile on their face when they're like really probably confused about like what's going on, and like all that kind of stuff, like why can't I go to the park and hang out with my friends and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. And what are some challenges that you've encountered along the way, or have there been any?
There hasn't been a lot, but definitely like trying. Some places aren't accepting like food for like reasons that I understand.
Yep.
But sometimes I really want to go to a place and they just don't allow food to come in. And another challenge is just like trying to stay like clean, like wearing gloves, wearing masks, distancing myself like in pictures, and like making sure like the food goes just like in the backseat of the car and just to the person, and like no like contact in any kind of way, you know what I mean? Like it's very different from what I'm used to.
Right.
Like it's weird to go out into the world and have like people be scared of you in a way, and just like it's interesting.
Yeah. It is. It's funny. It feels really contrary to the way we've been sort of taught to interact with folks. Like I find when I'm out taking a walk and I cross the street to make sure I'm giving enough space to somebody, and I feel like in another time that would just be seen as so rude, like, how are you crossing the street to get away from me? And really it's about, I'm trying to respect, we're trying to respect each other's distance and be safe. And it's actually a positive thing, but you're right. It feels weird. It feels, reminding ourselves that we're supposed to keep that distance from people, or all the extra steps that you're talking about to make sure that everything is clean and safe. And, so yeah, it's a lot to think about, because it's contrary to sort of what we know. Right. What are some of the things you've learned along the way? So maybe things you've learned about yourself, or things that you realize, wow, I really like doing that, or things that you've learned about the community.
So the biggest thing I've learned is a little thing can go a long way. Like definitely, because I've never expected to do something this like substantial at 16 years old, like during a pandemic when like people are dying and like everything, like everyone's going crazy, we're all locked in our houses, like who thinks of something like this, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just another thing that like I probably learned is like communication, and like how to communicate properly, and being professional and all that kind of thing, like calling public relations and making that connection, and then also connecting, like I met the president of a couple hospitals, like I think a Good Samaritan and Faulkner Hospital. So it's just interesting that like the president of the hospital comes down to greet me. Like I don't deserve that, you know what I mean? Like I'm just but in my head I'm like, I don't need that, I don't need anything, just give me the security guard, I'll give him the bagels, you know what I mean? Like
right.
It's just, I've learned that like people can be very appreciative of something very little, because it's and they have a great reaction, and kindness does go a long way in the end. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned, is just to always like be kind to people, and you know, and also to be like appreciative of like what you have and be grateful, because not everybody right now is staying at home and just relaxing and doing schoolwork and doing that kind of. People are out there wearing like heavy gear, fighting against the coronavirus, which is pretty interesting to
Mhm.
say.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, and don't sell yourself short. I don't think it's a little thing. So I think that that
Yeah.
you're doing, I
It
think it's a
doesn't
big
always feel
thing.
as big as it is, you know?
I know, I know. But even when you talk about, sort of all the steps that you have to take to make sure it's a safe transfer and making those connections with businesses and doing all those pieces, it's huge. And I think it's wonderful too that, like from the hospital's perspective, for them to send the president of the hospital down to thank you personally is one of the ways that they're sort of acknowledging what a big deal this is, and how great it is. And so I think, it's just, these are the stories that I think are so amazing to be sharing that are kind of coming out of this, is the ways that people are coming together, and all the folks you've encountered who want to also help you and give back, whether it's through, donating to the GoFundMe or, supporting and helping out with their businesses and giving what they can, and sort of all the pieces of this. I think that's really terrific. Um, let's talk about how the community can support the project. So people that might be listening going, wow, how can I be involved? What can I do to give back?
So the best thing anyone could do is just share the link. The more you share, the more people know about it. And
Okay.
that's honestly all I ask for, is that, like, if you can't donate right now because of anything, just share the link. That's all I ask for, because that helps my word get out to everybody. And that's the best way to let everyone know what we're doing and how we're doing it, pretty much.
So when you say share the link, we're talking about the GoFundMe link, right?
Yes.
Which put up on the screen. So for people who maybe are less familiar with GoFundMe, can you say a little bit about how that works?
So what you do is, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure
It's
about
okay.
this.
Yep.
I haven't personally gone into it. You enter in how much money you want to donate, and then they I think you have to tip GoFundMe, because they ask for a certain amount of money, and they do take a percentage of my money, which is fine, because don't people keep trying to Venmo me money and give me checks and stuff, but then I still have to go back in and put it into the GoFundMe, because we do have to track everything, because it's money. And
right.
Yeah. So don't worry about that, because lots of people have been concerned about the percentage that they're taking. It's not that big. So yeah, after you go through the GoFundMe, and then I think you put in the card information or something like that, and then it just goes through.
Okay.
And I get it right away.
Right. So really, the preferred way for people to donate is really to use that GoFundMe. So even though it's great, and we love that people want to Venmo you and do all that stuff, we want to encourage them to use the system that you set up, because it helps with your tracking and being accountable for all of those pieces. And so looking forward, are there other places that you're thinking about, going to in the next couple of weeks? What are your plans from here?
That's a really hard question. Today I am going to the Norwood Hospice Center, and that's going to be the place for today. I did just recently start a job at Stop and Shop, and so
you're still in school for another couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, and school.
Right.
Yeah, so that's going to be taking up some of my time. And then I do have a few other places. I'm probably going to be going to some nursing homes that I haven't got the chance to go to. Some places are opening back up because phase 1 and phase 2 and all that.
Yeah.
So that's, going to be good, because then more places will allow us to come in, and then I'll try to get in there. And then there's also some first responders that in the surrounding towns that I haven't been able to, get to. And so I'll probably go there, and maybe a couple more hospitals, depending on, what happens.
So if there's somebody out there who says, wow, I work with some essential workers, and I feel like, they could really benefit from being recognized, is there a way for them to get in touch with you and say, here's a suggestion for another organization?
Yeah, so messaging me on Facebook or anything like that is good. Even commenting on one of my posts on Facebook is good. I'm pretty sure if you go to the GoFundMe, I think you are able to message me. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure you can. So you can message me through GoFundMe if that's the way that you prefer. Messaging me in any kind of way. I'm very active on my phone. I am a kid, so I do see it.
That's
all.
how I found you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm always on my phone. I'm always answering, always checking new things. So yeah, that's the best way to get to me.
Excellent. So I know that you said, and I can see like it looks like you guys are going to get ready to go do another visit to an essential
Yeah.
service. So, and we're running out of time too. So I want to wrap us up. Gabby, is there anything else that you feel like you want our viewers at home to know?
I just want to say be kind. It
Mhm.
goes a long way. That's honestly the only thing I have to say.
Awesome.
And
I feel
just
like
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
And thank
Yeah.
you, of course.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you for everything that you've been doing to give back to the community. I think you're setting an amazing example of, of what being kind looks like. And, especially during these times, I feel like that's sort of the best way we could end the show. It really is just reminding people to be kind. We're going to make sure folks have all of the GoFundMe links and, and that they know how to get in touch with you. And if they want to contribute, if they're able to give back in that way, that would be awesome. I personally want to say thank you and keep up the good work. This is amazing, amazing stuff. And I think you're gonna go big places. Like this is the experience you're having now too. I think for you personally in your own development is also incredible. But just what you're doing for the community, like you've been seeing, it really means a lot to people. And
Yeah.
and I think you're right. Be kind, everybody. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for agreeing to be my first virtual interview and
Thanks
bearing
for
with us
having me.
in our pre interview technical difficulties. And
Yeah.
thank you to our friends over at Stoughton Media Access who are behind the scenes making this happen for us virtually from the studio. And I hope everybody has a great day. Go out there, be kind, or stay in and be kind. So be safe. And we'll see you again on another episode of United for a Healthy Stoughton. Thanks, Gabby.
Thank you.